so that it could be all right. Okay. A crisis is compared to a case study that hasn't found the solution to the issues of the problem. It is considered as a breakthrough, as a turning point in life. Through crisis, we have the opportunity to broaden our horizon in becoming more wise and mature in our character traits so that we can have a better loving relationship between our personality and our inner being. Just for a moment, imagine if someone tried to squeeze you in a corner and not knowing what to expect. The way we're going to defend ourselves, whether it's going to be positive or negative, is exactly who we are. We may not be able to control the environment, but we can control us on how we choose to react. This is where our energy lies in. Our mind is a state of negativity, and when we are in that state, we make negative and wrong decisions. But when we are in a state of calmness, we feel strong, we feel positive, then we can make better decisions. Because everyone's personal aim in life is about what we want our life to be. This is what we are here for. We are natural survivors of life because our inner being is vibrating at a higher frequency, transmitting to our human form, the personality self, the human self, the necessary vibrations of life energies that we need at any given moment. During an emotional, mental, or social crisis, we are in a state of duality. It's like there are two people inside of you instead of one. One of us feels as if, I should say, one side of us is positive and wise. The other side is negative and afraid. And at the same time, we are experiencing feelings of anger, frustration, because we didn't ask for this situation to take place. Life gave it to us without our human consent. But nothing happens without the approval of our soul agreeing to the experiences. The meaning of crisis can be understood as an example, for instance, that life gave us a big box of various tools that we can use to fix problems. What are these tools? These tools are integrity, wisdom, compassion, confidence, trust, creativity, patience, understanding, and so much more. As we start to use these tools, we are building the gap that has kept us separated from our inner being and the world. Most of the time, we are not aware on what causes us to create this void and this separation with our inner self that has brought forth pain, anxiety, anguish, self-sacrifices in our body, mind, and soul. We remember that each time that we keep creating lower energy vibration that comes from fear, anger, complaining, resentments, doubts, insecurities, sadness, depression, guilt, unforgivingness, judgment on ourselves as well as on others, we create toxins in our being and in our surroundings. When we go to a place that we don't like, what do we usually do? We leave, right? So it is the same thing when we have negative thoughts, change the thoughts that come, that bring on these lower energy to something that will raise your vibrational energy and make you smile, make you laugh, remembering the good old days. It's being the you that you always wanted to be, full of joy and fulfillment. Remember that each one of us, when we are trying to work in raising our energy, we will feel the separation that we have created from our personality with our soul self. You will hear the mind tell you, you can't do it. The heart is saying, yes, I can do it. The mind is telling you, you're alone and there will be nobody there to help you. The heart is saying, I am not alone, for I am one with Source, and I will do my very best. Again, the mind is speaking to you and saying, you are afraid. So through fear, you can conquer. And the heart is saying, I believe in myself. Again, the mind is saying, you're not a good person. This is why this has happened to you. You don't deserve good in your life. And the heart is saying, yes, I'm a kind, loving person, and I deserve the best. There's always a chit-chat between the mind and the heart. When we have separated ourselves from our inner being. But when we are in harmony with our personality, we are in touch with our inner being, and it expresses one identity, but vibrating on different dimensions. It's the one that we're going to give our attention to and the power to, that we will become stronger. The universe has given us everything we need at all times. It's there at our disposal. All we need to do is want it, desire it, and allow ourselves to be open to receive. No one knows what tomorrow will bring, because tomorrow, it's still unborn. We create tomorrow according to the decisions and to the vibrational energies that we create today. Crises are like seasons. They come and they go. Nothing stays, for nothing is permanent in life. Our concerns, worries, and doubts are what is stopping us from moving forward, which makes us feel trapped in our journey. And how many times as we feel trapped, that we feel that we can't move forward. But have we ever stopped and think to take an inventory of ourselves to see what is really happening within our being that makes us feel stuck? We need joy in our life, because in order for us to make the next step and the next step and the next step, joy is essential, because it comes from our soul self. It is the will in us that wants to do things from the heart and with love, and being happy in doing what we are doing. When we are going through separations or a divorce or an illness, we are experiencing pain. The pain that we have suppressed for so many years, and maybe even lifetimes, which are baggages that we brought with us to this lifetime. When we are suffering in pain, in this state, we are experiencing the shadow of our soul, which means that It is that part of the soul that has not evolved towards the light. Some people call it the dark stages of the soul. It's the same thing. In this state of soul shadow or shadow of the soul has accepted and realized the baggages that it has been carrying. And it wants now to release them so that it can have better experiences in its existence and towards its connection with Source. We should feel honored when there is this pain because it's finally releasing itself from us. Our personality doesn't realize the heavy baggages that we carry until we are in pain. And in order to release the pain, first we must accept it. That is the reason why we are in pain, because we have stayed in a state of denial and that we did not want to acknowledge our weaknesses, our faults, and our lack of personal responsibility. But don't get stuck in your pain because you believe that there is no hope. We are the creator of our life, of our journey, keeping in mind that Source sees us full of light, full of love, full of beauty, but it's giving us the free will to do what we want to do and to be responsible for our thoughts, words, and actions. We are here on earth to experience the adventure of the energies of what it means to hate, the energies of pain, unhappiness, of guilt, resentment, unforgivingness, joy, success. We have experienced these pains. But what have we done in order to change the vibrational energies that does not serve us well? We just thought of it, but we let it be. We didn't change it. So we need to uncreate them by giving your power to your soul self, which you are connected with Source, and not to your personality self, in which the ego holds us in this physical world. We created these energies because of the barriers, the limitations, the doubts, the sadness, etc., that we have not raised our human awareness to a greater understanding. So we have taken advantage of our health. We have taken advantage of our body. And our body now has reacted that it's too much to carry so much energy that is resisting the soul to be stagnated in its evolution. So what do we do in order to change that? Mentally, we should say to ourselves that from this moment onward, I will love and respect my body as the temple of light in which I am. I choose to invoke my inner being in which I am, that is composed of light, love, and divine consciousness, and send this healing to my body, especially where there is pain, and restore all cells and molecules to divine creation and divine life. You breathe slowly and deeply, and at the same time you use your imagination to see yourself from the top of your head to the tip of your toes, that you're full of light, you are happy, you have surrendered to the higher self, and that is what will help you to raise your vibrations and keep you suspended from the earth plane. Do this every day, repeatedly. Do it with trust and confidence that your inner being is at work for you, through you, and with you. This is how you and I and we create the shift, by practicing every day in visualizing ourselves to be what we want and not what we don't want to be. But people who give up, they're actually saying, I don't care about my life. I don't care about myself. Neither do I care about the people who love me and believe in me. This hurts. This is ego talking. It's not real. But we think it's real because we have created it. So it lives with us. And when we don't pay attention to the ego, we choose to focus on the higher energies of life, our ego gently dies through our evolution. But when we resist, we will be more in pain. But the choice is ours. So what are you going to do about it? Choose to continue to be what you made yourself to be because you believe it's too hard to change? Or you're going to say, I believe in myself. This is a sacred moment and I can change it because I am the inner being, which is the power that transcends to my body to heal and restore itself to divine function. The crisis that people go through, a separation or a divorce. Usually the person who leaves the relationship is not the one who is in pain. It's the person who is left behind that is experiencing the feelings of betrayal, loss, and confusion. The decision in wanting to end the relationship has been building up for a while. It just didn't happen overnight. It's been building up. Our feelings that we may have taken our partner for granted. We may not have acknowledged their feelings, only ours. We acknowledged that we did not do our participation or our collaboration in the relationship. We blamed each other for most of the things that went wrong, but I should say we blame the other more than we blame ourselves. Every time we have criticized, we have judged, and we have blamed, and we have lashed out. We have used our lower energies. And these lower energies has caused a wall between ourselves, which also has caused a lack of intimacy between one and the other. It's like, I don't feel that love that used to be there. If our heart is covered with so much garbage, how can we feel our heart? We need first to get rid of the garbage so that we can feel if there is the flame of love burning in our heart. That is when we know, and that's when we feel if we still have love towards that person, or our love needs to go in another directions. Couples usually blame one another instead of realizing, what have I done wrong to you? What has brought me and you to where we are today? Words, actions, and reaction can build or destroy a relationship. Only at the end, when the partner leaves, we feel guilty. We feel resentful. We feel angry. We feel frustrated. A part of us is saying we want to make up, And then there's a part of us that is still feeling angry or resented. If we choose to continue to hold on to feelings that are destructive, and we don't clear things out right away, they begin to build more and more. So we need to think that we have a part in the relationship as the other person. We need to accept our responsibility that we weren't always at our very best, which may have caused the other person to feel that they were not loved, appreciated, nor cherished. Negative and judgmental energies creates the distance. So don't try to correct things at the end. Correct them when it is happening. So this way, you can stop the wall from building up. There is a saying that says, and I think we all know it, and I heard this as a child. It says, if you love someone, set them free. If they come back to you, it was meant to be yours. If not, it never belonged to you, because love is waiting to express itself through someone else. We need to give our partner the permission to let them go, and know that from time to time that we can get in touch with them, and that we can say, I'm sorry for what I have caused you and our relationship. Let them know from time to time that you are there, ready to support him or her at any time on what you're able to do. If you see the person receptive, ask them out so that you can talk about what happened with dignity, graceful tone of voice, rather than with anger or lashing out. Talk about how your feelings are at this moment. Maybe there is a possibility of a reconciliation that can take place between you both. But if you see that that person doesn't want to do anything or nothing to do with you, then release them with love. Accept the fact that they have the right to live their life, for he or she no longer belongs to you. Keep that person in your loving thoughts and in your heart, wishing them love, happiness, and success as you wish it for yourself. Begin to readjust your life to what you want to achieve and do. Adjust yourself to the shift that is happening by meditating, by focusing on your life and not on the person who left you. Ask your inner self that you are willing to do your part in being receptive to your higher self, so that you can do what you missed out in taking better care of yourself and the people that you will be in touch with in the near future. If you see that your mind is always going through a chit-chat, bringing you back to the pain, to the anguish of what happened, take time to go for a walk. Spend time with nature. Listen to music that you enjoy. Read a good self-help book. And be with your true friends. And avoid those contaminated people who you don't need their negative energy. Respect contaminated people from a distance, even though they are your own family. Respect them, love them, and know that you own your life and that only you alone need to answer to your actions and reactions. You are not held responsible to tell everyone what has happened in your life, especially if you know they are people who are judgmental and they criticize and they're not open-minded individuals. Don't share your problems with them. You can take a book, write down your experience to let it out. And like I say, when you usually go for a walk and you spend time with nature or you listen to music, you will automatically replenish your energy and raise your energy to a higher level in connection with your soul you. When these things happen in our life, we need to take care of ourselves. No one is going to do the job that we need to do. Financial crisis. What are these crises? Many people today, and always have been, in financial crisis. When this happens, we need to take an inventory on how we have been spending our money. Have we respected money and cherished the blessing that life has bestowed upon us? Or have we been splurging money through our material desires, that what we want, we get? And how often have we asked ourselves before we bought if it was really necessary and if we could have afforded it in that moment? Some people believe that human desires are more important to be fulfilled than being a good, responsible manager of our accounts. When we lose our respect for money, we begin to lose self-respect, which eventually we will begin to fall out of prosperity. Many people have an addiction in spending, and many are in denial. They don't want to accept it because every time they feel sad, disappointed, they go out to buy something for themselves that makes them happy in that moment. And that clothing, that shoes, that purse will go into the cupboard like everything else. And the unhappiness and the sadness will still continue to be with them. Some people believe that by paying the minimum expenses of our monthly credit card for the rest of our life is okay, as long as they don't miss out on what they like in life. Some people cannot really live without satisfying their desires. And this is so sad because it is so destructive to our well-being. And I've had many people in my 46 years come to me for desperation that they had no money. But it's on how they spent it, not because they didn't have enough. We need to create boundaries in order to be responsible to how much we can spend and when we can spend it. Money is respected when we use it wisely by not showing off to other people so that we can be admired because we give out the impression that we are rich and important so people will like us more. This is ego playing the part that is challenging our personality. And unless we are in the moment, We are not able to realize what is happening until it is too late. In life, we all get to experience the highs and the lows, which are all meant for us to have the experience on what it's like to go through these energy vibration. Every one of us, including myself, have gone through the experiences of not having enough money at a certain moment in my life. And that I had to ask loved ones to be able to help me in those moments. And that was due to the factor, not because I was spending money unwisely. It's because the time that we entered into our spiritual mission 48 years ago, my husband was working in the business of his father. And the business was going down because it had to be shut down in order for us to move into the path of our spiritual mission. So my husband left the business when it was just about to shut down and went and applied for a job working as the pastry chef in a hospital. And in the hospital, you get a steady salary every week. And I never forget that. It was $128 a week in 1974. In the business, every time the reception hall was busy, we got hundreds of dollars in that day. And when it wasn't busy, then we missed out on that weekly salary. So when we were out and Joseph was in the hospital working as a chef, we couldn't pay our payments. We couldn't do everything to pay our bills, and we asked our loved ones. But the moment that Joseph tried to find a part-time job, he worked on the weekends to compensate, to accumulate, so that we could have had the money to pay back our loved ones. And that is the first thing we did, is we paid back what we owed to other people before we were able to build up and save to go on a trip, or save to buy a television, or save to buy new dresses. That is what personal responsibility is all about. Pay up your dues to others or to the universe first before we are able to move forward. So it all depends on how we choose to act and react while we are in the midst of need. If we react wisely, then we will become abundantly blessed. If we don't choose to change our attitude and our behavior because it's too hard for us, you expect others to feed you, to nurture you. You expect your family to give to you what you need because you believe it's their responsibility or their obligation. Well, you are wrong. Your family does not owe you anything. What we do with our life is ours, and we are receptive to the reactions of what the universe is going to send back. We all know, including myself, that we have lost money in the stock market during this pandemic crisis. But we have no power over the stock market. We can't stop it in any way, but we can be positive while we're going through that process. Because life is always in motion. It's never still. It's always moving forward. We lose and we gain. We go up, we go down. Life always at times when it is essential for our personal growth may borrow something that belongs to us. And when we have learned our lesson, life will return it to us multiplied what it borrowed from us. So we must remember, it's not about money here, because we're not going to take money with us. We're going to leave it on this plane. It's your responsibility on money, on how you choose to spend it. So that creates our abundance or being poor in life. And remember, mostly that in the moments of true needs of life, the universe will always send someone or send you to a particular place somewhere where you will be guided, where someone will be your support system in that moment in crossing the barriers of your wall. If that person doesn't come to help you, it's because you really don't needed it. And because you didn't need it, it won't be there. Some people feel that their needs is that I need to change this television that is a century old and get myself a new television. Some people believe my clothes are old and people judge me when I go out. I want to buy some new fashionable clothes so that I can look good and feel good. That's not your needs. That is your attitudes. I call it, we are creatures of habits. And unless we realize our negative habits and our negative behavior, we won't be able to change. So how do we see ourselves? We see ourselves that we are in a moment to be able to imagine and create from our imaginary mind the power to believe and to visualize and to know and to trust that money is coming towards your direction. And lots of money will be coming to you. Because when you're going to go out and pay your bills, you're going to be grateful that you're paying your bills because you had the money to pay for it. Well, some people are complaining about paying their bills, that if they didn't have to, they would be able to accumulate all this money for their own personal pleasure. That is greed. That is selfishness. And that is ego playing the game in challenging our personality. When you have something, spare some change in giving it to others who are in need. Give it to a just cause that you believe in, because it is in giving that we receive. And every time that we give with love, give it with joy in your heart and mean it. And don't give out because you want that person to know how good you are. And in the same token, you're telling yourself, I'm doing him and her good, but I want this money back soon or later when I need it from him. That is wrong that people think like that. So money should be respected. And when the universe sees that our respect through our vibrational energy is going to create an equivalent energy vibration to send it back to us. So anything that is done with moderation, respect, humbleness, it is being brought back to us constructively and abundantly. So that is what we do when it comes to money. Stop complaining and start seeing where you cut off that you can pay something else. In my time of deep needs, Whatever I had to do with my two children, buy clothes or buy baby food, it came from my shopping list. I had to delete things that weren't necessary for me to buy so that I could have the money to pay the food for my son and the clothes. And I didn't have the money to buy clothes. So I started learning on how to sew. I had a neighbor next door who was sewing, and I asked her if she could help me. And through sewing, I saved the money that I did not spend on the clothes for my children until I was able to resume that security that I could have spent more. Then I stopped sewing, and I did it only because I wanted to when I wanted. But then I became so busy that I didn't have time anymore to do it. So that was a progress for me and my husband, as well as for my children. Mom, why is it that I can't have this kind of clothes? Why are you making clothes? I had to educate my daughter, who's the one that is more capable of understanding, because my son is sick and he would not understand, that I had to tell her, this is what we could afford. It's the same thing. Today, parents are doing everything for their children, and the children comes home and says, Dad, I want an iPhone 10 because my friends have it and I look so bad. And the parents, instead of educating the children, yes, sweetheart, I'll go and buy you an iPhone 11 if it exists, even at a very young age. And our children are growing up without having the idea of how to educate themselves and become autonomous in life, especially when there are crises. So we need to make the change that will help us and will help our children, as well as the people that are around us. And now I would like to talk to you about social crisis. What are social crises? Compare it to what is happening right now around us. The coronavirus, the George Floyd murder. History has been repeating itself over and over again. How can we participate in the crisis of our world? We do it through integrity. We do it through dignity. We do it by standing together, strong and positive, and to feel our freedom to express our feelings on what we believe that is right, logical, and spiritual. To stand together in peace, we are supporting the many voices that unites us as one for the sake of healing the mistake that has taken place. We don't do it by judgment or criticism or creating violence. The murdering of George Floyd is used as an example that people who are in positions of titles, that have a badge, need to do their work diligently, not through violence, nor through discrimination. The personality that is egocentric believes that their position through that title or through that badge is the power, and they see themselves to be above others and having the power to control and do as they please because they believe they are the law. When we are in an egocentric moment, we feel nothing else but the ego power that is controlling us. Everything in life can be resolved through peace and through harmony. Where there is peace, there is love. Where there is love, there is the power of spirit that is in charge, leading us in the journey of life. We need to keep our heads above the crowd, because if we keep our heads in the crowd, we will not see the bigger picture on what we can do to participate in doing what must be done constructively and spiritually. We go through crisis by being in the moment, present, and not going back to the history of the world. For we cannot change history, for we can only learn from it by not repeating it again. If we want the crisis to heal, we need to stop passing judgment and criticism, for these energies fog our earth environment as well. They fog our thinking from being constructive and productive. This is why history has been repeating itself. We must be persistent in maintaining our harmony and alignment with our inner being, and to always remember that change is always taking place. And through change, only with time and based on evolution first, we can change the crisis. Remember the times when many years ago, I was a child, when the woman was always put down and the men were considered superiors. Many world religions also professed it, and it still exists in some parts of the world. Slowly, the woman began to take various parts in the male role. Women began to prove that they can do what men can do. And with time, in raising our human awareness, society began to accept this. And now we see that society has accepted men and women to be equal. But it's still not accepted in some countries because they have not evolved their human awareness. So it is for us to keep remembering that we are one family. No matter what language we speak, no matter what color we belong to, or whatever nationality we belong to, we are a family. Can you imagine what the Black people have been going through? From one lifetime to another, they were considered slaves. They were not allowed to participate with the white folks. They were not allowed to be in any place, but only in their restricted area. Can you understand the discrimination and the rejection that they have lived from one lifetime to another? We feel hurt in this life once we are rejected by someone. But they have been hurt over and over and over again. And now is the time that life is letting us know that there is no race, no color, that we all belong together as one. So we can't blame their soul rebelling. We can't, because they got to get rid of this pain that they've been carrying from one lifetime to another. So we need to join them in the realization and to know that we can do our part with love, standing up for our voice with love, in the simplicity and the humility of who we are in our spiritual identity. It's everything about time. It's about patience. It's about evolution. We can no longer stay hidden by our preconceived ideas, beliefs, or views. We need to change. And that means we need to evolve first in order to recognize the change that is needed to be made. Love is the way And the unity is the collective supportive energy, that we stand as one. There's a saying that we can't have a rainbow without the storm. Just as there is a saying that a woman cannot give life without the sperm. We need to be involved with one another as a family. Unwanted changes will always happen in our life, and we need to accept it. But we must look beyond it, because it carries a purpose and a mission, as well as we need to embrace the discomfort in order to go through it. So stop looking at what other people have done or what they are continuing to do that is not in agreement with you. That is not positive. That is not spiritual. Let's start thinking and looking at ourselves if we are doing what we should be doing. This is how we can change the world, after we have changed ourselves. Instead, many people believe that they are working to change the world, but not them. We are in the critical moment of life where we can make a difference, and that we are the pioneers that will lead the path for others to come. Be who you are. Don't follow others if you feel that the energy does not match your intention, your spiritual understanding. Be alone if you need to stand alone, but you're standing with the force of light. You're standing with source. You're standing with your higher self. You can make that change, all right, to be more productively, while you're passing on judgment to what you are hearing in the news. Stay away from Facebook. Facebook is full of stuff that people put forward to pass judgment. We are aware of what is happening, and even though we may not be aware, we still can change our surroundings by changing ourselves. So be the beam of light, be the unconditional love, be the source of divine consciousness that we come from, that God created us to be. Practice your journey to be the journey of your spiritual you, that will give you joy, that will give you happiness, that will give you abundance, and most of all, that will give you the connection to be one with all spheres of light, because we are never alone. From my heart to your heart, I love you, I bless you. I thank you for allowing me this opportunity to share my views, my wisdom, and my experiences. I'm speaking to you not from my physical mind, but I'm speaking to you from my heart. And I implore each one of you, let your heart guide you and not your mind. Stop rationalizing. Be in the moment where your heart is, so that you are connected to your soul. And in that connection, we stand as one with the universal light that we call Source. I thank you. And now, let us go to a moment of meditation so that we can ask the questions later and feel that we are able to ask better, constructive questions rather than questions that I have already answered, but we have been hard of hearing. Since this meeting is taped, you can review it, rehear it later on, but give me the time to be able to post it on my YouTube channel, which I will do before the end of the month. I have 3 Zoom meetings a week. So Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I'm busy with my Zoom meetings, and they are meetings from out of the country, other places, especially in the Middle East. So my time is limited. I know people are anxious, but I will do my part in leaving you, all right, this lecture. And if you agree with it, fine. If you don't, so be it. Follow your heart and follow your intuition on what makes you happy and what fulfills you with joy and contentment and spirituality. So now, for some of you who are intimidated by being watched with the video, turn your videos off. If you're not intimidated, it's okay. But if you turn your video off, your mind knows that there's no one else that is looking at you or seeing you except yourself. I will play a song first before the meditation so that you can hear this song, which will prepare your mind to surrender to your higher self. Once the song has finished, then I will have a little music that will keep you present with your thoughts so that your thoughts won't get scattered and leave the room. And allow your thoughts to follow my voice. If you feel that you can go on your own and reach that state of harmony, joy, attunement with your higher self, then go ahead and do it. But if you feel you're having a hard time, stay in the moment, breathe, and listen to my voice. Okay. Just a second, I don't want to stop the recording because as I'm moving from one page to the other, you cannot memorize, okay? How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deep you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul.
Could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your love is a miracle? How do you bring your gratitude to my soul? How do you bring your gratitude to my soul?
Excuse me. Give yourself the permission to relax. Focus on this moment. Breathe in gently the breath of divine life and gently release your breath by releasing your toxins of fear, sicknesses, insecurities. Keep your body still and your eyes closed so that you can see the vision of your soul. Allow each breath to empower you, to restore your multi-dimensional vibrations of your personality, your soul self, and your physical mind back to harmony, to constructive thinking, holding positive thoughts. Feel your breath elevating you to a higher frequency of energy. Know that in this moment, you in your soul are becoming reconnected consciously through your thought energies and through your emotional energies. Stop your mind from thinking as you release every thought that your mind is trying to distract you in. Breathe in gently the awareness of I am light, love, consciousness. and release that breath to your physical body, to your mental thoughts, as you become the observer on what is happening. The personality is the observer and the witness of what we see. It does not get involved with what is happening when the soul is in leadership. So you are in this moment in the seat of your soul self, experiencing calmness and serenity, harmony, love, knowing that you are not alone and that you are the force that releases your divine self through your body. Become aware of the extensions of the various you. You're here, you're there, you're everywhere. You feel the vibrations of the planet, the pain that people carry, the joy that people have. You feel the shift that is happening. As well, you are aware of the purpose that it carries. So nothing can disturb you from this point of connection. Everything is happening for a reason. And you are the participant in the physical body to the mission and the purpose of your soul self. Feel strength. Feel the courage that you hold. Feel the will of Source that is vibrating in your being. Feel all that is happening is a positive construction and not a negative reconstruction. So don't feel sad, but be happy that you are releasing your pain. Be happy that each incarnated soul is going through a special work that they have come here to do. And they're doing it as you are doing yours. Let the light shine forth into your mind as your heart speaks to you. It is letting you know, my child, I welcome you back home. Feel that the Source is calling you back because you have raised your abilities and creativities of your mind and the potentials of your being and have used it constructively to bring yourself back to where you belong, home. And home is where the heart is, where the spirit is. Relax, let go, surrender to the I am, which is self-illumination, self-mastery, self-knowledge, self-awareness, self-love, self-acceptance, self-respect, self-esteem, and all that you are. Deeper and deeper, let go. And I will leave you for a few moments in silence for you to continue the journey that peace is bringing you, that your higher self is relinquishing solutions to your problems. It is giving you the teachings, or I should say, it is revealing back what you already know but have temporarily forgotten. So I leave you in the spirit of oneness, in the spirit of unconditional love, as you listen to the vibrational energies that you are bringing forth from the space of light, love, and divine consciousness. You are in the presence of your higher self. Everything about you is the beauty of life. It is the perfection of life, that you are perfect, whole, and divine. You are awakened to the light. You are the light, and you have come to serve the light. So see yourself whole and know that this awareness that you have tapped on will always stay with you, even when you choose to come back to the lower energies of your human self. Feel the freedom of your being, that nothing is holding you back, that you are now deleted all those energies that have not worked well in serving you. You are the potentials of spirit. You are the ability of spirit. You are the infinite mind of spirit that creates everything through your thoughts or intentions. So feel your body, as well the vastness of your surroundings, which is your soul self present in your body. We capture this moment, and with your thoughts and intention, send out these frequencies of divine vibrations to all the people who are suffering in the world, to the people that you know that they need this healing energy. And I'll take a moment of silence so that you can think of their name in your mind or visualize their presence as you send out your healing rays to each one of them. We continue to send this divine healing rays to all the people who are in position of power, so that they are able to realize that they are the chosen people that can lead the countries and the nations constructively by following their heart. Let us empower the minds of all presidents, prime ministers of every nation with this divine consciousness of knowingness what peace, harmony, love, unity, and goodwill is all about. Send this energy to the people who are in the midst of their graduation from leaving this earth and returning home, that they will be awakened in their awareness, that they can communicate with their loved ones on earth through their power, through their abilities, to prove to them that life is eternal and that there is no death. We send this energy to all religious organizations, to the leaders that represent it, so that equality of truth, understanding, and acceptance between one and the other lives in their human mind, in their emotions, as well as in their heart. And that no matter what they call themselves, we are still the brotherhood of man, representing one family in the unity of oneness. Send this energy to all the abused animals so that life will empower them to be able to bring forth the proof of evidence that life is also eternal for the spirit of the animal. Let us bring this peace to our places of work, where people can work harmoniously with one another, without competition, without stepping over the other in order to go to a better position. Let us see the homes of everyone, that parents and children are working and living together in harmony, allowing each other the space that they need to be themselves, and that all conflicts are resolved with respect, with tenderness, rather than with destructive energies. Let us send this energy to all the people who are suffering from addictions, whether they are smoking, alcoholic, whether they're taking drugs, whether they are in abuse relationships, whatever addiction one has. Let us visualize that we are empowering them and set them free to become their true self. Let us continue to touch the hearts of all the little children and the mind, to empower their personality in becoming the most suitable personality for their mission, their sole purpose as they grow up and become adults. Let us see that as we send our energy, that we are freeing the people that are suffering due to karmic debts. Let us see them, that their karmic has been paid up, and now we are empowering them and setting them free to be able to enjoy their existence on earth in whatever time they have left, happy, healthy, and prosperous. Let us take this moment also to touch our loved ones that have returned back home, such as our parents, our grandparents, relatives, siblings, friends, etc. That we are expressing our profound love and gratitude in thanking them for the support they gave us while they were here on earth. And if in any way you might be still holding on to the resentments to certain people because they have hurt you, whether it was consciously or unconsciously, your divine love is releasing this unforgivingness because it has made you whole and divine as you're connected with your higher self, where these vibrations no longer exist. The unforgivingness, the anger, the resentments, etc. Let us Now, send this energy to the soul of George Floyd and everyone like him that was used in the crisis in our history. They were used as an instrument to bring awakening into the minds of people. We elevate the soul of George Floyd into the higher spheres of light, to be grateful for what has happened, to have accepted what happened with joy in the right understanding, so that he could elevate his soul into the higher realms of light. And in the same moment, we send this blessing of this energy to the people he left behind, his family, his loved ones, to be able to understand that they need to forgive, but they need to voice their feeling with love, with harmony, with grace, so that the world will come together and join forces with one another to awaken the dormant minds who are still sleeping to the mind of God, which is infinite mind, divine consciousness. As you feel the energy that you have brought the universe into your heart, now release that universe into the vastness of the eternity of life, knowing that whatever you have sent forth, the universal laws has restored peace and divine order, and it will continue to restore peace and divine order in the days to come, in the weeks to be, in the months that are ahead of us. So with joy in your soul and love in your heart, gently restore yourself back into your body as you feel your breath, as you feel your body parts coming back to your chair, to your surroundings, feeling totally numb at the attachments of this physical world, and yet deeply attached to the source of light, love, unity, oneness. So open your eyes as you look at life from the vision of your soul, that all is well and that everything will continue to be well, even in the midst of reconstruction, because we are seeing the finale and not the work. The light in me blesses the light in you, and so it will be carried. Amen. Is there anyone, let me check, who put their hand up that wants to speak? And it's Despina. Despina, I have unmuted you. Can you speak? Unmute your microphone, please, because I have unmuted you here.
Good to know I was before. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. You?
Good. What is
Oh,
your question?
oh, it was the hat stuck before. I don't have any question. I can remove it. Did it before. Before that we started this, the hand got stuck and I wasn't able to remove. I have no
Oh, I
question.
see.
It's okay.
Okay, no problem.
Bye.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak, ask something? If you don't know where the hand is, at least put your hand up so that I'm able to see you, but be patient with me because I don't see everybody. There's no questions. Good. All right. Is there any comments that you would like to share? No? Unmute yourself so I can hear you if you want to speak. So if not, friends, I want to say thank you. I hope in some way the meditation has guided you to uplift your vibration and to be in a better state of mind and body. I love you all. I thank you so much. If there's any comments that you would like to share with me, you can send it to my Gmail. But please give me the patience to give me the time to answer you back. I'm learning Zoom. If there's anyone that can help me through it, please do so. Did you enjoy the meditation when I opened the meeting earlier?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Okay.
Yes.
So I will open the meeting at 7:30 on Tuesday night. And I will put the meditation music on for you to be able to relax, release the stress of the day, and be able to tune in. All right? And then when we start at 8 o'clock, then we are able to be ready for the teachings that is being shared. All right?
Thank you, Mary.
So, so now that I see you, Edgar, all right, you said that you could have recorded, or just let me stop the recording. I can't stop the recording? Yes.